This is my friend from high school, John, on the right, and his younger brother, Joey. John was my year, and although he ran with a pretty rough crowd, he was elected to be the president of my senior class. You can probably tell that he and I were unlikely friends, but somehow John and I had a mutual respect and fondness for each other. A lot of people underestimated John's ability to lead since he didn't really care much about school, and he smoked a lot of weed. But as class president, he organized some really great events, like a day where we visited a nursing home and spent time chatting with the old folks. That was the day I met his little brother, Joey. Joey and I had a great time talking with some of the nursing home residents that day. The following day was Valentine's Day, and Joey brought a dozen roses to school and gave one to each one of his single female friends to let them know that they were special. He had just met me the day before, but he also gave me a rose. After graduation, John and Joe's dad died in a medical malpractice case. They were each awarded a lot of money to compensate for their loss. John spent his on partying with his friends, mostly at the bar, and Joey, unfortunately, got addicted to heroin to deal with the loss of his dad. He was caught robbing a Christian bookstore to get money for his next fix and spent a while in jail, during which time he detoxed from heroin. They say that detoxing from heroin pretty much feels like death. And the fact that Joey had to do that in jail must have been hell on earth. Joey got in touch with me shortly after he was released from jail, and we began to communicate more. He wanted to fix his life and beat his addiction, so he moved in with John. The two of them decided to make some good life choices and keep each other accountable for their recovery from their addictions. John quit drinking, and Joey was clean for quite a while. Joey and his girlfriend had a baby girl named Elena, and things really seemed to be looking up for him. One night, John came home and found Joey unresponsive in their apartment. He had relapsed and overdosed. John called 911, and the EMTs were able to revive him. A few weeks later, John came home to see that Joey had relapsed again. But this time it was too late. John and I kept in very close touch after Joey's death. He never wavered once in his commitment to maintaining his sobriety, even as he went through the loss of yet another family member. When he planned our 10-year reunion, he did a wonderful job, and we had a great time. Here we are, with him right behind me, as I always felt he was. John also became a father to a beautiful boy named Grayson, and I can tell that he was really making an effort to make wise choices for his life and for the life of his son. But in early 2015, I could tell that John had been using. His Facebook post pretty much admitted that he had been using alcohol and prescription pills, and that his addictions were haunting him again. In August of 2015, he posted on Facebook that he knew he wanted to go to nursing school and that he had to get clean and sober, so he made arrangements to get into an inpatient rehab out of state, away from all the friends he used to use with. I remember seeing that post on a Thursday afternoon. That night, John overdosed on pain pills and died. The friends who had been together for Joey's funeral found ourselves together again for John's. His mother, who was about to remarry, had buried her first husband, and now both of her sons. John had planned to walk her down the aisle. John and Joey made some poor choices, but their drug use did not make them bad people. They were loving, friendly, warm people. You can probably tell that John was a pretty big guy, so when he hugged me, he could wrap himself all around me, and there was no safer feeling. He texted all the time to see how I was, and gave me all kinds of advice, whether it was full support or tough love. At the end of their lives, they both wanted nothing more than to live a sober, clean lifestyle and raise their children. But Addiction is more powerful than most of us realize. And in the end, addiction won out. I think of both boys often, and I think that if they were alive today, they would want to tell you for themselves just to never even try drugs, that none of us are immune to addiction, and that they want you to have the long, full, productive life that they didn't have.